Oh, apparently I have started it. Okay. Oh, well. That is recording, right? It's counting up. I didn't push the button, I'm pretty sure, but I think it's going. Anyway, so. One take. Back at work now. I meant to finish off my Q&A stuff a bit closer to the actual first part, but then suddenly there was stuff happening around the house, and I can't really do commentaries and talking from home because it annoys people, and I do it quite late, so I wake everyone up. And that's mainly why I hadn't been for a while, because I've been on holidays. But yeah, I'm back. No one's here, so I'm starting part 2 of my Q&A, and I've already wasted a minute, so good start. And this part, I separated it into questions about Ninja Kiwi itself, the office, and me working there, but this has the least questions in it as well, so I'll probably get started on my next one, which is just about BTD6 itself, which is the biggest part, because obviously everyone has questions about BTD6, because that's what my community majorly is at the moment, mostly BTD6. So, without further ado, 2 minutes wasted, let's get started on this. How long have I been working at Ninja Kiwi? I've been working at Ninja Kiwi about 4 years and like 6 or 7 months now, almost 5 years. But before that, I was a moderator for 2 years, if you want to count that. So you could theoretically say like, hey, 6-7 years. But I was not paid for that. I did work for Ninja Kiwi. I did work. I was working for them, but I was not paid because that was just a moderation job. And before that, I'd been a big fan of them for a long time. So I guess that leads into the next question. Was it hard to get into Ninja Kiwi? No, I put no effort into that because I was already close to them before I decided that I wanted to. And I can't remember these questions because I saw them a couple of weeks ago. So there might be a question about this actually, but the here we go. I'll just skip to this one. So yeah, was it hard to get into Ninja Kiwi? No, it wasn't for me. How did I get a spot in Ninja Kiwi? So yeah, I had been a big fan for a while. When BTD5 was released, I became very well known in the community, and I was a big player of BTD5. I played like thousands of hours of that probably, and most of my time was spent on the forums actually. Sorry, it is actually really hot, in case you hadn't noticed, and I closed my window and put my fan under the lower setting to try and make this video not be interrupted by a lot of noise. But yeah, it's very, very hot, and my hair is very hot, so sorry. But yeah, so and yeah, I was well known in the community. I started talking a lot with the bosses, like Steven and Chris, who are the co-founders of Ninja Kiwi, around this time as well. Like within a year into it, I'd already had a few conversations with them. At one point, at a couple points, I think Steven sent out emails to some of the top players asking for opinions and stuff and balancing suggestions. And I was not the only one included in this, but I was included in that, so I had a bit of a hand in balancing BTD5 before I was even a moderator, just when I was just a big player. And I also was invited into a lot of alpha tests and beta tests. A lot of people know Ninja Kiwi did a fair few beta tests back when it was, back between the BTD5 and the Fortress Destroyer period. There was a lot of beta tests in that point, where they'd just would throw it up for a day and oh hey, jump in, do this beta. And anyone could do that basically. And we didn't do that for BTD5, because we actually have proper testers now, me. But yeah, there was never really a testing task force at Ninja Kiwi, and that's why we did so many of those betas. But as well as that, which was well known, there was a lot of betas, there was also alphas where people were invited in only. And and I had a bit of a hand in a lot of those as well. Anytime that I wasn't busy with my studies at uni. So by the time it got to the point when I was actually finishing up my uni degree, I hadn't considered working for Ninja Kiwi yet at this point. But I was about to finish up my degree, and at this point I was just starting to get into a bit of a panic, I think. It was just like, well, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I have a job that pays well, but I hate it. I didn't hate it. It was a nice job, but it was painful for me. I think I mentioned this. I worked in libraries, and it was very painful for my back. And I was thinking, like, I don't know how I could possibly get into a job that I would actually like and that wouldn't hurt me. Like, I can't think of anything. And it was at this point when I don't actually see if I can get it up. So I sent an email to Chris from Ninja Kiwi because I had his email, because we've been in contact already. And I honestly, I mean, I'll see if I actually have the email still. I haven't looked in this in a long time. I might have a sent. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. First time anyone other than me or Chris has seen this. I sent a message saying, like, hello Chris, whatever. Had a huge workload with my studies and my first job and stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. I have mentioned my poor time management. I said that I did not have as much time to work as a moderator for Ninja Kiwi as I would have liked, because it just came at a bad time with me, with all my studies and work and stuff. Although I'd always loved being part of the community, and I would like to get back into a spot where I can be excessively a part of the community again. Okay. So, main reason I wanted to contact you is because I'm finishing up my degree soon. I don't have any plans for my future. I don't have any solid plans for my future. So I was thinking about taking on a postgraduate course. Let's see. I don't know if there's any way of knowing if a spot will open up, but I love Ninja Kiwi, and I was hoping to finish up with a course. Like, I was hoping to find a course at uni which I could swap to after my current course that would give me the necessary qualifications for some sort of role, which I could do potentially at Ninja Kiwi as a community manager or something. And that's the gist of my questioning, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I asked him, I was going on to ask him, can I have some advice on a postgraduate that I could study in order to complete some qualifications to get a spot at Ninja Kiwi, basically. Or somewhere in the games industry, because I had no other idea about anything. And yeah, it was about this point. They were actually at that point thinking that they needed some more people in both QA and CM, and so the question was basically, they don't do long distance, so are you willing to move to New Zealand? And if you are, if you're up for an interview, then we'll fly you over and you can have an interview with us. And I went with that. So we talked on Skype for a little bit, and oh my gosh, this is taking a while. Didn't realize I'd been talking for so long, but yeah, so we talked on Skype for a bit, and eventually it came to the question where I think Stephen asked me on Skype, it's like, are you sure that you wanted to do community management, or would you like rather do quality assurance and testing? And then I was like, oh, I could actually do that. That's what I do anyway. I'm good at that. So like, oh yeah, I'd be way better at that, wouldn't I? I actually am good at that. And so, yeah, we talked a bit. A couple months later, after the end of my semester, I flew over to New Zealand. I had an interview. I flew back that same day. Just straight afterwards. I came in, took a taxi to the office, had an interview, took a taxi back to the airport, and flew home. It was a pretty cool day. and basically after that, I can't remember how long it was after that, but basically at that point, like, I packed all my stuff. I brought my computer and a bag of clothing over, and I think it was Friday night, packed my bags. Saturday morning, got a plane. Stayed in a hotel in New Zealand that night. Sunday morning, I found a place to live. Well, kind of like not exactly a hotel, not exactly a hostel, but like a lodge area which had like 60 rooms or something, shared kitchens and stuff. Moved in there, and then Monday morning I started work. So within the space of 3 days, my life completely changed. I'd never lived outside of my parents' house before. At this point, I was 20, I think. Around 20. I just turned 20, like a month ago. Because my birthday's in August, and this was like June, I believe. I think it was June 8th. I've got it. I think it was June 8th that I started work the first day. So space of 3 days, I left my parents' house, found a place to live in another country, and had a job, a full-time job. Yeah, that was a really weird change for me. Really weird. Anyway, can't believe I spent 12 minutes answering 3 questions. I might not have to go on to the BTD 6 questions after all. So anyway, So I moved from Australia to New Zealand for this job. What do I like about New Zealand compared to Australia? Okay, the food is a big one. I find that literally you can get the exact same thing. Like, I'm talking, so McDonald's, right? That's crappy fast food. But if you get McDonald's in Australia, some people, like, you might like that, you might not. But if you get the exact same order in New Zealand, it tastes better. Straight up. But not just McDonald's, like actual good food, like all over the place. It tastes better. I don't know if it's just the areas that I lived in Australia didn't make good meat or something, but wait a second. But yeah, so it's just better. I mean, I've been in a lot of places in Australia. I've lived never anywhere but the East Coast, but I've lived all on the East Coast. Mainly in Queensland and New South Wales, but the food's just not as good in Australia. I don't know what it is. Maybe, I don't know. It's strange, but that's a big one. Also, New Zealand is so green. It's insanely green. Like, I came here and I'm like, I thought that grass was brown and yellow. I thought that's what grass was. What? It's so vibrant and alive. It's not a desert. And nothing's trying to kill you. So, I mean, you get used to it in Australia, but people joke about Australia being a dangerous place to live, but until you leave Australia, you don't realise how much those actually aren't jokes, or like maybe people think they're jokes, but they're not. There's been so many times I could have died in Australia due to an animal or something. Like, so many times. It's just commonplace to run into that sort of thing, like something that can kill you. There was one time, which I like to use as a good example. If you've heard of a redback spider in Australia, redback spider kill human. So, only the female's dangerous, whatever, but where is it? I don't think these ones are too bad for humans. They can kill humans. But yeah, like, it wouldn't be uncommon for me to see like 10 of these in a day or something like that. 10 of these spiders that are actually problematic for humans. and I just walk around, don't bother them, and that's just the thing. Like, it just happens, and there's all sorts of stuff like that. Like, everything in Australia, like even a platypus can kill you. They have venomous spurs in their feet, which can become very infected and deadly. And even koalas, the cute cuddly bears, they have terribly sharp claws, which can get infected and kill you. But when you come to New Zealand, they just got birds, dumb birds. They got a bird here which could literally only survive in New Zealand because it's so stupid it can't tell its own species apart from anything else. And it survives in New Zealand because it has no predator, because there's just birds. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's safe and green and good food. I took way too long to say that, didn't I? Okay, so this question's been asked a few times. So what exactly do I do at Ninja Kiwi? And am I in charge of anything? And do I solely work on BTD6? So what exactly do I do at Ninja Kiwi? It's my official role is quality assurance. I do game testing. I play the games. I hit them in all different angles and break them, basically. I'm good at breaking things. I'm good at finding exploits and stuff. And that's what I do. I find that so we can fix it. And that's why you see me so active on Reddit, even though I'm not actually support, and all other places like that, Discord as well. It's because I have to see what other people are doing and work out the problems that they're having, because it's easier for me, who actually is supposed to reproduce bugs and fix and find them, and basically explain how to do them so that other people can fix them. It's easier for me to find people saying that rather than it is for support to try and explain it to me, and then me in turn having to work out from them who don't know what's happening exactly, and then whatever. But I mean, most stuff, reports all go through to support, because I mean I can't deal with everything, and it's better for them to filter it a lot of the time. But yeah, whatever. It's just kind of helpful for me to be around Reddit and stuff. But yeah, I test stuff. I find bugs. I also do some design, mainly for older games, like. Once the bosses have moved on to future projects, I start to step in on some of the older projects sometimes. I don't do too much there, but like I've made a bunch of item designs for old games and stuff like that. I've done a lot of balancing stuff across different games. I did a lot of balancing in SAS 4. Once the bosses had moved on to other things, I did some new items for Tower Keepers recently. I also make some events and stuff, like if you played Tower Keepers, I made basically all of the dynamic campaigns for that. They're pretty much all mine, because it's fun to make them, and not really anyone else knows how to use the editing tool that well, because it is a bit buggy, basically. It's not complicated to use, it's just buggy. So you have to kind of have a good knowledge of what's going to break. And yeah, and how to work out what has broken when it does break, so you don't have to restart your entire challenge, because that's a pain. Oof. It's a lot harder to make a cool challenge for Tower Keepers than it is to make a daily challenge for BT6. I'll tell you that right now. It's not easy. So I'm not actually in charge of setting up the events that are going to go live and stuff. A lot of people ask me about that. That's Bruno's job. I simply make the event itself, and I put it into a list of stuff that can be used as events, and Bruno picks from that what he thinks is good. Although he also makes his own events quite often. Yeah. Am I in charge of anything? I'm not really in charge of anything. No. I don't like to be in charge of things so much. But I am, I guess, currently I am somewhat in charge of daily challenges for BC6, though I don't work on them that much. That is actually mostly other people in my team. Thank you. But I set up a big form for submitting challenges and stuff like that, and I maintain that form. And basically, whenever you make a suggestion, it prints it out into a list. with all the stats you've suggested, and we can literally copy that and paste it into our editor, and it'll load up the challenge. So we don't have to actually set it up or anything. We can literally pull your challenge from your suggestion, copy paste, and then play your challenge. And don't tell anyone, but I really want to get this in the actual game. That's why I set it up like this, to show how easy it is to do. But convincing people to actually port this dev tool into the actual game is another step. It's not as easy as just copy and pasting there. That's more difficult, yeah. There's no UI or anything, and that's a big part, and getting all the code to flow into it and flow out of it and everything. It's not that simple, but it works on a dev side currently, and I'm trying to push people to get that into the actual game. Maybe it'll happen one day. I can't really say if there's a good chance or not, because there's so many other things going on that I just haven't considered my idea. But it's a good idea. It just a lot of work. There's a lot. We have a lot of plans, a lot of good ideas, but all the good ones take time. So be patient. Every time there's a every time someone considers something to be a bad update because there wasn't much content, it's because we're putting so much time into working on really good stuff in the future. So, but that's sad. Do I solely work on BTD6? No. I work on everything our company does. Mainly Auckland side. Scotland and Auckland, Ninja Kiwi work on totally different things. Scotland owns Battles. I do not touch Battles. I don't know anything about it. But yeah, I work on. I touch sometimes. I have done testing on Battles. It's just not often. It's mainly when they need extra help for like tournaments and stuff. Testing tournaments, I had to join that because we needed lots of people. But yeah, I guess that's most of what I do at Ninja Kiwi. Who is the most attractive Ninja Kiwi member outside of me? Speaking of Bruno, yeah, Bruno, have to be Bruno. Quite an attractive, handsome man. Yes. Am I planning on continuing on being the YouTube NK spokesperson, or am I planning on moving on? I don't think I really am. I don't think I really ever have been. It's just my own channel where I do my own stuff. And I just happen to have a lot of inside knowledge about Ninja Kiwi, which I do share, because I mean I know it and it's not a secret. It's just I worked it out sooner because I've been looking at it for a long time and stuff like that. I like doing that, and I like answering questions. I like doing videos, but it's YouTube is a full-time job whether or not you do it full-time, so it's not easy to do that, and it takes up a lot of my time. Like it all takes up a lot of my time, and I also work full-time at Ninja Kiwi, but I also take on a lot of overtime stuff quite frequently, because there's extras that I want to get in which I'm not being paid to do, so it's like, well, I have to do a bit extra there because someone, I mean, it'd be great if this happened. That's how we got all these new additions to Tower Keepers, mainly from me working overtime, because I was not paid to do that. I was paid, I mean, it was part of my job to make the item designs I did, but then along with that, I'm like, hey, we're adding new items, I'm going to go update all these campaigns so you have some really hard content to use them in. That was just my idea. So I'm going to continue trying to do my best there, but it's not easy for me to do. And I like to do stuff outside of work as well, so it's hard for me to spend time. It's hard for me to take a bit of extra time to come up with ideas there when I'm usually quite fried after the day. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want me to do stuff on YouTube, feel free to give me ideas, because I'm just too tired to come up with ideas a lot of the time. And sorry, I'm working on something else at the same time. Yeah. Pretty much. Do all Ninja Kiwi employees play BTD6? They better. To some degree, all of them have tried it. It's mainly the CM team and the QA team who play it a lot, obviously. No one plays it as much as me, though. I don't think anyone else is close to 150 rank. Where is my B36? Lower than that. Yeah. Is the NK office typically warm, cold, or just right? So we have air conditioning, which we turn on and off. It's typically just right, I guess. Personally, I hate the heat. Coming from Australia, people find this weird, but I hate the heat. It is horrible. It makes me want to die. So it's always a bit too warm for me. But it's not hot generally, unless we've just been outside playing games, which happens at every lunch basically. But yeah, it's generally a little bit too hot for me because I just prefer it to be freezing. Like I'd rather be freezing than to be average temperature. But yeah, it's fine. Who, if anyone, at Ninja Kiwi is working on B2D Battles? Battles is owned by Dundee. I have no idea. I assume the whole company is working on Battles. Well, actually, no. There's probably a bigger distribution onto Adventure Time now, I guess. I don't have much communication with them myself. That's mainly a higher up thing. How many people actually work at Ninja Kiwi? What kind of work levels do you guys have? Like lead devs and that. Okay, so we have like one person who works from home that I'm aware of, and that is one of our old artists. She was basically so good that when she decided to move, our bosses were like, "No, you can work from home. It's fine." But aside from that, we do not allow people to work from home. Currently, we have one other person working from home, which is Joey Rainstorm. If you know about him, he only started working recently. He actually is not going to work from home forever, though. He is literally just doing that until his work visa passes. So that's the only exception. We don't generally make exceptions allowing people to work from home. We're not interested in that. We're not interested in people working externally. That's why I was forced to move to New Zealand if I wanted to join the company. I think it hasn't worked out too well in the past or something. It's just been too difficult, and especially considering we have companies 12 like other side of the world, like 12-hour times out. It's just that's hard enough to deal with. It just doesn't. We don't like it. But as to how many people work there, we have about 30 people in each office roughly, so 60 overall. What kind of work levels do we have? Everyone's basically equal except for like the main bosses. We have like lead programmer, lead artist, lead QA. We have those sort of roles. We have like lead CM. We have lead for everything, but like everyone is generally considered equal. The only people that kind of feel like they're at the top are obviously our producer, and then Chris and Steven, who founded the company. Aside from that, it all feels like a family, really. It's all equal. And yeah, pretty much that. What's a typical work day? I work in QA. We don't have a typical work day. Some days it can be so boring that we just coming up with daily challenges and sleeping, playing Hearthstone. I mean, no, that doesn't happen. Some days it's super duper crammed and we have to get like 7 days work done in an hour. It's very QA work is very atypical. It comes and goes because we depend entirely on everyone else's work. If they slow down, like if they suddenly get a lot of a build up, they still work it. They're still working through it. They don't really run into lulls, I guess. But if they get bogged down on something, even though they're still working through it and getting all their job done, they're getting it, whatever, same amount done as normal, we have to wait for them, and we have to constantly either wait for something to happen, and when it does happen, it's like you pulled the plug on the drain or something. It's all coming through now, and then yeah, it's very come and go, not typical, not reliable to be steady. Yeah, weird. Is there any way for the community to get more involved in balloon stuff? Well, I'm very active on Reddit. I read basically everything, unless it's obviously a dupe post or if it says petition to. Generally speaking, if a post starts with petition to, I don't read it. Just heads up. I just won't read it. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, I'm on Discord a lot. If I'm busy, then I won't reply as much on Discord. But I generally do check over stuff. You can join our Discord server, or you can just message me directly, or you can be active on the Reddit. We have our own forums, but the Reddit's much more popular at the moment, so that's where I mostly spend my time. I mean, I'll see everything on my YouTube channel, but that's not my main focus currently, because my main focus is Reddit, basically, because that's our biggest area. But yeah, generally just that sort of things. I'm around these areas. I'm around all these areas. If you can find me, I'll try and... Yeah. Would I like Battles 2 to happen, and what sort of things would I like to see in it? So I don't know much about Battles. I don't play it, is the thing. The best I know is from watching Tyler stream it, or ISAB if he's doing it. So I don't like to really give thoughts here, because I don't know. But I don't know, I would definitely like it to happen, because I think that BTD 6 is a fantastic game. It's missing some things that would be good to bring from BTD 5, but obviously, it's a brand new game. It'll come. Don't worry about it. Open my daily chest. I got 30 monkey money. Yeah, it'd be good, but like, when it does, I'll probably play it. But I probably won't play it that long, because I'm not really into PvP. I'd rather co-op. But yeah. How many Enki employees do regularly play Battles, and why don't I? I mean, I assume most of the Dundee office probably have some level of commitment to it. Tarn from Ninja Kiwi plays probably more than anyone in the office currently. Obviously Bruno and Lockie play a lot. And aside, I think that's pretty much them. Like in Auckland office, it would just be those three mainly. Tarn from CM, and then Bruno and Lockie. But I don't know how much they play at the moment currently as well. I know that Bruno still pays attention to the community quite a lot. I don't know how much he actively plays, though. I'm not sure there. But yeah. Also, I should stream Battles. I should stream in general. I just don't know what to do exactly. I need to devote some time to getting that set up. But I need to... I'd have to put aside a lot of time to work out how to do it and everything, and I don't have that much spare time that I'm willing to put into trying something new at the moment. I'm so tired, man. Can you see my eyes? Nah, not that bad today. Nah, it's cool. But yeah, I'm very tired. All the time. Why did I quit Bloons Monkey City? I beat the game. There is a limit to how much you can play Bloons Monkey City. It takes thousands of hours to get there, but you can absolutely finish BMC, and then you have to start a new account to keep playing. And I did. I've started new accounts to keep playing. Yeah. But yeah. I didn't quit Bloons Monkey City. I finished it. Do I feel like there'll be a BMC 2? Not in... I don't think it could work if it was done the same as the last one, because the last one was a good game. I really enjoyed that so much, and I know so many people did, but it did not make much money, is the main thing, and as good as a game can be, it needs to support its own... Like, it needs to support its production. People have to understand this. Like, if it doesn't make much money, it doesn't matter how good the game is. Like, it's incredibly expensive to make a game, and if it doesn't make more than break even, it's not worth doing, because breaking even is still a loss because you've wasted so much time. Like, breaking even is different to breaking even on the time spent. Like, I don't know. It would have to be monetized a lot better, and I don't know how we could really do that without going like super pay to win, because Ninja Kiwi doesn't really like doing pay to win stuff. You can argue there's some things like that, but like compare us to any other game, and honestly. Honestly speaking, there's not much pay to win. Was SAS 4, in my opinion, one of the best Ninja Kiwi games? Yes, one of my favorites. Right up there. Way up there. I loved SAS 4 so much. My favorite, though, was Battle Panic. Hands down. I love Battle Panic. But there's one of my most favorite games ever. I loved Battle Panic. Okay? I absolutely loved Battle Panic. And I wish that it was monetized better as well, or it was more well known, because, man, I would have loved to get a sequel to that. I wrote up a huge expansion idea for it years ago, but it just wasn't big enough to get too many more updates, unfortunately. Yeah. Is there gonna be a SAS 5? Yeah. Yeah, we're working on that. We're not really working on it, but there's a design doc. It exists, so it's probably gonna happen. I think that's confirmed. Well, it is now. Will I come back to SAS 4? I probably. It's just my old computer, basically, it died. I mean, it's completely dead now. But it couldn't run SAS 4 for ages because it just couldn't handle anything. It was in the process of dying. Now it's totally dead. My new computer can probably handle it fine, I imagine. But I've been playing a lot of MapleStory 2, and I'm probably going to keep playing MapleStory 2 because I'm really enjoying that. And yeah, that's all the questions about Ninja Kiwi Office. I was expecting this to take about 10 minutes, like 10-12 minutes, maybe even less, maybe like 6 minutes, because there's not many questions. But damn, I talked for so long. So I'm sorry about that. I can't really speed this video up either because it's a pure commentary with no gameplay. But I very much apologize for giving you a 40-minute video. I hope that you enjoy it regardless. And yeah, I have another one coming, which this one had like 22 questions or something roughly. Next one has like 60 questions, so it might take a lot longer, but I might get through them faster, hopefully, because it's purely BTD6 questions, and I don't know if I'll talk about that as much. But hey, thanks for watching, and that's all. How do I stop this now? I got my finger in a weird spot.